Hey guys, Brendan here again with the Shredders team, and today we're going to take you on a gameplay tour of the new Glacier area. So the new area is actually located just a bit outside of Frozenwood and behind the big park. So we're going to get into our drone and head on over there. So coming up over this ridgeline, you'll see a massive new area with a huge park in the middle, a bunch of natural terrain on the sides. We're going to take some gameplay through some of those areas, but for now we'll just give you a quick overview. So starting up top here, we have this modified half pipe, and it's kind of a classic half pipe in the middle with some rail features on the side and some cool transition options. And that leads into the XL jump line with the quarter pipe option. And we also have a new border cross course alongside some more park features and a backcountry area up on the right. And then turning back towards the middle, we have the main glacier area. So there's a lot of cool ice features and interesting lines you can take through there. And it runs alongside this mini pipe with jibs on the side of it. Some more park features, and then we have our XL backcountry line up top on the left there. And that reconnects with the park in the middle. Now coming down to the bottom section of the park, we have some smaller, more standard park features on the left, and some bigger, more flowy, creative features on the right. Coming through the middle, we have this skate bowl style feature. And then on the right-hand side, we've got more medium backcountry features that run down the whole right side of the park. And finally, we have this last backcountry peak up here on the left-hand side, with some XL and some large jumps up top, and then some medium jumps down near the bottom. So we're going to take a run through here first. Over here we've got the backcountry spawn point, which is kind of its own little peak off to the far left-hand side of the park run near the bottom. And it's a zone that's filled with large and extra large backcountry features. There's a few different line choices through here, so I'm going to take the far left and do this big drop-down butter pad, and then into this natural transfer. And then it switches up to just some regular backcountry jumps near the bottom. And there's a few jumps in this area where you can kind of get really close to the trees in the air. You can kind of tap a branch or go straight through it. And you're going to want to keep your speed into this last big jump before it flattens out into the banked jump to hip line. And that's the run. So next up we have the border cross course, which starts out with a really fun technical butter pad feature. So you got to clear that middle section to come out of it with the right speed, and then into this drop-off corner that'll set you up with a lot of speed for the first big jump here. And then coming out of the fast section up top, you're going to want to carry every little bit of speed that you have into the next section, because it gets a bit flat and more technical. And that's where you're going to see a lot of people either lagging behind or pulling way ahead based on how they rode that top section. Coming out of this corner, we have two angle jumps back to back, and the angle that you take off of them can really set you up with a lot more or a lot less speed, depending how you ride them. So it can take a few tries to figure out the right line choice through there. And then we've got another drop-off corner going the other way, and into this really fast and tight section with some corners and some rollers. And then you can see the final feature down here. You're going to want to carry a lot of speed into this butter pad. And that's the course. So at the bottom of the park, on the left-hand side, we have a more standard snowpark section with some medium features and some interesting technical rails as well. So we're just going to take a line through the rails. And we did want to have a good balance of unique technical features, but also have just some well-built basic features, because at the end of the day, that's what makes a park great, is having that balance. And then coming into this last hit, we have the famous double cork rail that a lot of you guys probably recognize from a bunch of those videos that were going around online earlier this year. And that's the bottom park. So this is the peak spawn, and it's another backcountry zone that starts out high up on the rider's right-hand side of the park and follows it the whole length of the park. Up top, we've got some more large and extra large backcountry jumps. And then as the ground flattens out and we get into the trees, we have some more medium features in there to kind of balance everything out. So coming in off of this last large jump, we're going to cut to the right-hand side and follow one of the main lines through this zone. So as we get into the trees, you'll notice we have some wooden features and some rails. So this whole bottom section is a mixture of regular backcountry jumps, natural hits like this next one, and then a good mix of those wooden features and rails as well. So we're coming into the butter pad at the bottom here, a little step up, and then we're gonna backflip off of it. And then we've got a really nice step down jump. It's one of my favorite jumps in this whole area. And one last natural hit at the bottom here. And that's the peak spawn. So we're gonna take a run through the very top of the park, and it starts out with this cool ice tunnel into the first rail feature. And then popping out of that, when you come over this ridge line, you'll see the modified half pipe up top. So it does have a more normal half pipe section at the top of it. And then you have some rail options on the side, which we'll take a look at in a little bit. But for now, we're going to stay in the middle into this cool curvy opening section that allows you to pop into it, pop out of it, and carve. There's a bunch of different ways you can ride that, as well as the hip section down here. And then we're going to take the quarter pipe option on this bottom feature and gap over the back of that jump takeoff. And then it brings us right back into this cool banked feature. And then the bottom snake run here can be used as a jump, or you can hit the rails depending on how much speed you have. And that's the top of the park. And of course, we need to take a run through the main glacier zone. So coming into this area, you'll notice that there's a bunch of unconventional gaps and transfer options. And we're going to take this middle jump through the ice there and then transfer over into the left side of the glacier. And there's a bunch more features on the right side to explore, but we're going to line up for this big step up jump here. And just clear the deck. And then we're going to line up for this natural step down. And then coming out of this section, you'll have good speed for the rest of the park. So next I'm going to show you the bottom section of the park on the right hand side. And we're going to take a bit of an unconventional line through here to try to find some transitions. So this whole bottom section of the park on the left hand side is a bit more standard, and the right hand side is a bit more abstract and out there, like this tunnel jump quarter pipe feature. And then it flows right into this skate bowl section. So we're going to go up and over the hip, and then off to the right hand side here, there's a bit of a step up jump, and then through the rail tunnel and gap out into the backcountry section. And this is one of my favorite parts of this park, is just how many different places you can gap in and out between park riding, backcountry riding. There's just always a different way to transition between them. Now we're going to take a bit of a different line through the top section of the park and try out these rails on the side of the half pipe. So these rails are pretty high speed, especially this one, but they do set you up with really good speed for the XL jumps down lower. So coming out of this banked landing and into the first XL jump, we should have speed for a triple cork, up and over the quarter pipe. And then this next feature has two different park style takeoff options into this natural hip landing, and it sets you up really nice. This last XL jump, you're gapping over the border cross course, so it can be really cool when you have some riders racing around that corner at the same time as hitting the jump. And then we're going to go into this next natural hip landing, and it flows really nice into the backcountry section on the right side of the park. And that is the extra large jump line. We can't wait to see everyone riding and filming in the new area. Welcome to Glacier.